Hello, welcome to the fifth episode of Podcast. I am Trinity Palyanan and I will be your interviewer for today's episode. Let me introduce you to our guest Ressti Reyes, who will be answering my questions for today's episode. So, Restti, can you tell me a time where you had to speak in public and it was very successful?
I think never.
Never. You never had a successful public speech before?
Actually, wait, no. I think I had one before. I just don't remember it because it was a long time ago.
So you can't remember.
Yes.
Then, can you tell me a time when a speech didn't go as planned?
Well, yes. I think last week when we were about to present something for a specific subject and a specific topic in front of our um, classmates. I think I really failed that
Why?
because we lacked of memorization.
That's it. That's why it wasn't successful.
Yes.
Do you have any strategies or techniques that you use to remember your speech?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
I have 5. The first one is to prepare. Second is to memorize. Third one is to understand. Fourth is to record myself. And fifth is chunking.
Oh, so you record yourself. That's quite an interesting technique. How do you record yourself?
Well, I get my gadget and then I start recording. After recording myself, I will take the video and put it on replay. I will look at that video to look at my mistakes and things I need to improve or improvise in the video.
Oh, so that's how you improve your speech. You said that you focus more on understanding the speech, right? Why is that? What's the difference between understanding them with just memorizing them?
It is because memorizing is just to remember your lines, your speech, but to understand is you really have to apply it in meaning and you have to acknowledge it to have more understanding of it.
Oh, so like it's easier to talk about the topic if you really know it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your what if you're given a speech that you just need to memorize? Will you still try to understand it or no?
In somehow, yes, because there is no point of reciting a speech when you know nothing of it.
Oh. How do you prepare for a speech?
Um, it's simple. I'll memorize the lines and study it so in that I could prepare myself for the upcoming presentation.
How long do you usually prepare yourself?
It depends on whether it is one page or multiple pages.
So it depends.
Yes.
What is your process for researching and crafting a presentation?
For researching, it's just on the internet. I browse on the internet, and for oh wait, another way is to look at my physical books, and I'll look through it and to see words, and then to craft, I'll just use what I have learned and create one of my own.
Do you mostly use the internet to research?
Um, Not really, because I still have books that have more meaning. I mean, like, they both have meanings, but it's better to use physical books.
What do you do when you're given a topic and on the spot and you aren't given any time to research?
Mm,
Have you
prob-
experienced it before?
well, no, because our teacher gives us sufficient time to prepare ourselves for the upcoming presentation.
But okay, let's put this in a scenario where you are given a topic and you're not called first. You have time to think. What do you do?
If possible, I'll try to help that person to have knowledge of the topic.
What if it's only you? What if it's not like a group presentation?
That then it's just better to observe. Then if I get called next, I'll just answer.
So, while giving your speech, do you usually use body language?
Yes, of course. You need body language in only some cases.
Can you give us an example?
Okay.
Do you think it's important to use body language in your speech? Do you think that it will be helpful?
Yep. Because when you do body language, it also symbolizes other words that you are talking about.
Oh, okay. So going back to the question that you answered earlier, you said that your speech didn't go well due to lack of memorization, right? So was there any nervousness involved? That's why it wasn't successful?
Mm, yes, because when I was looking at my audience, or specifically my classmates, I've seen people talking to each other. I think they're blabbing about me and some why insulting me because of my speech and my fumbles.
You think they're insulting you? Are you not confident?
Maybe.
Do you usually engage with your audience?
If I need to, then of course I do. I need when I need only if I need.
So it depends.
Yes.
What are the techniques that you use to engage with them, since you said that sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't?
It's very simple. First, you need to call their name. Then after that, um, yes, I ask them or talk to them. Then after also that, they give me a response.
Oh, that's kind of scary if you're the one who's called to answer your question. So, how do you handle unexpected questions or difficult audience members?
Um, first is, firstly is I need to analyze the question. Then after I find a way to actually answer it on my own.
What do you feel when your classmates who are presenting call you to give your opinion?
Um, I don't feel. I just feel alright, I guess, because I am given an opportunity to give them an answer or an opinion of my own.
So, if you don't have an answer, you just stay silent.
Yes.
Okay. What are some common mistakes to avoid in public speaking?
It is that you shouldn't notice that one is being committed and you should just move on and continue the speech.
So you do that?
Yes, so because you shouldn't continue, or like, let's just say, just don't notice the problem.
Oh. But have you noticed any common mistakes that public speakers use that they should avoid?
Yes, actually, I had some observings of it.
Like what?
That time in when I see my classmates presenting, they use a very soft sounded voice. I can barely hear them in, like, even if I'm close, I cannot barely hear them.
Do you do that mistake?
Well, no, because I can change the tone of my voice whenever.
Oh, so like when you're just speaking, you're like really quiet, but like when you're presenting, your like voice is confident and loud.
Yes, something like that.
When speaking in front of a large crowd, have you ever made a mistake that changed the entire outcome of the piece that you have read?
Yes. This one time when I was presenting, I saw my friend doing some pretty funny faces, and I was just holding my laugh back then. But when I couldn't held it, hold it anymore, that's when I burst out laughing.
So now you're like trying to avoid that because you don't want it to happen again.
Yes, because it will really impact the result of the grades and, of course, the speech itself.
When your grade was returned after you have done your speech, were you disappointed? Do you think that you should have not laughed?
Well, of course, I shouldn't have laughed because it was supposed to be just a simple presentation in front of our classmates.
Ooh. Can you share an example of a time when your public speaking skills were put to the test and how did you handle the situation?
Actually, this one time in grade 6 last year, we had a time when we had to present in English class. So we had a difficult time that period because of, like, we I mean my group mates were, like, making mistakes. They were fumbling and all.
But like you guys didn't fight right after you guys presented.
Of course not.
Oh. When you're already speaking in public, in front of a large crowd, do you feel like you have been prepared enough or do you think you could have done better?
I would also say that it would depend whether if I
Depends.
yes, because whether if I prepared myself enough or insufficient. Yes, like that.
Can you
Uh,
elaborate your answer?
what I meant was it depends because in some cases I prepare myself enough, and in other terms I do not.
Okay, last question. What tips do you have for improving one's public speaking skills in general?
Sorry.
What tips do you have for improving one's public speaking skills in general? Any tips for people who are new to public speaking?
Well, yes.
Like what?
It is that you should give your best. Do not, like, feel nervous when speaking in front of a crowd. memorize and study the speech, then perform well.
Okay, thank you. That was the last question. Thank you for watching for today's episode. We hope that we can see you again. Bye!